Hi, I'm Kate, and I'm going to show you today how to make a quick, fun, and easy Jasper Johns flag, like the one up here behind me in my studio. Let's get started. Okay, Jasper Johns is a pretty cool pop artist that worked in the mid 20th century, so like the 1950s and 60s. He used popular images that people would see every day, such as the American flag. He tried not to have this carry any weight or meaning. He never explained what the actual purpose of his artwork was, but it is kind of cool that he used a newspaper behind it to give it texture, but also you can read the newspaper through his painting, which makes it kind of cool. So here are the supplies that we're going to need today. You're going to need just a little canvas. Mine's pretty small, but it is kind of a 3D canvas because I like to make mine kind of wrapped canvases. And then we also need, of course, red, white, and blue paint. I use 3 paint brushes when I do mine. I use a kind of a thick one, a small one, and then a sponge brush. And then you'll need some Mod Podge or some glue. Either way is fine. And then the last thing, of course, that you need is some newspaper. Okay, so these are supplies that you will need. If you can gather those supplies, we will get started. The first thing that we want to do is get some newspaper, and you're just going to rip up your newspaper into smaller strips so that you can put it on, Mod Podge it onto your canvas. If you care about like what kind of news or newspaper is underneath your flag, you're welcome to do this. This is what's going on in our world right now. So I'll probably just add a couple of these. If you want to make them smaller, you can make them smaller. But the idea is just to get some small newspaper scraps, and we're going to try to cover the whole canvas with newspaper. When you are Mod Podging your newspaper onto your canvas, what I like to do is just to put some Mod Podge down on my canvas first, and then take my newspaper and just cover it right up with Mod Podge. And then you are going to do the next section. You can overlap if you would like, but just make sure that it's all covered. And if you'd like, you're welcome to scrunch up your newspaper beforehand to maybe give it a little bit of texture, because Jasper Johns' flag, if you look, has a little bit of texture. So just go ahead, keep using your Mod Podge and cover up your canvas with newspaper. Okay, as you can see, I have covered my entire canvas with newspaper. Whenever I make canvases like this, I like to kind of make them look like wrapped canvases. So I will usually do the sides and the top. And you just wait for your Mod Podge to dry a little bit, but it doesn't have to be totally dry before we do our next step. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do, of course, is we are going to paint our American flag right on top of our newspaper. So you can make this as technical as you want. I will probably not make it perfect, but just show you how I like to do my American flags. So when I start doing my American flag, I usually start with white, because that's usually the one that will, it's harder to get the white because it will mix and make other colors like pink and light blue. So I start with my white, and I'm just going to start making the stripes on my flag. So if you'll remember with the American flag, it starts with red, and there's 13 stripes. So I'm just going to go right down my canvas here and make my white stripes. Okay, as you can see, I've done my stripes, and I actually did my blue where the stars are. And if you can see, I'm actually doing my paint all the way over to the sides of my canvas so that it looks like a wrapped canvas. Whenever I paint, I just wipe off my paintbrush and then start on the next color. So now I'm going to do the red stripes. Okay, as you can see, one of my favorite things about this project is that you can see my newspaper through my paint. And I do that on purpose because I think it adds character and it looks really cool. So I try to not make my paint too thick that I can't read my newspaper through it because it kind of defeats the whole purpose. So now we are going to make the stars on the flag. You have two choices. You can either just use your little Q-tip and just make little dots for stars, or you're welcome to actually make stars. I'll show you how to do the dots first, or you can just do the little stars at the end. Okay, so I just used my little Q-tip to make my little circle stars if you want to do it that way. And if you don't want to do it that way, then you can start making stars with your paintbrush. And there you have it. Depending on how much you want to let this dry, you can make your stars be like super white, but I kind of like to do it when mine's all wet because I think it gives it more character. So there you have it. Super easy, fun Jasper Johns flags to celebrate the Olympics or for some cool decorations for the 4th of July. Happy painting!